Welcome into the Early Edge presented by BetMGM. The counselor of cash is on vacation. I am stepping in, and I've got an amazing crew to help me in this Monday edition of Best Bets. But first, let's take a look at how we did on the Friday show. It's looking like 3-4, but there was a very nice plus money from Danny Brasco, who's in the chat. Great to see you, Danny. Jake Hadley at plus 180. So we lose a little bit of juice. On to today. Let's see who we've got here. I feel pretty good about this cast of characters, starting with the sniper, and then Zack Cimini, and then Propstarz, of course. Great to see everybody in the chat. But I want to start it off with MLB. One of the hot topics, the Rays are just dropping stars right and left, unloading them. Paredes goes to the Cubs yesterday. Sniper, do you see them as a good team to fade the rest of the way, or are people going to overreact to that and maybe there's still some talent there?
I do think that they are a fade here for the next couple months. And I just wanted to say, I think it's absolutely shameful of the front office. They're 3 games out of a playoff spot right now. We just saw the Diamondbacks win 84 games and then win the NL pennant. The American League looks wide open right now. If you look at all the top teams, they're all fatally flawed. So I don't think by any means that if the Rays held everybody, they were going to make a run, but we don't know that. Last year at this time, nobody was talking about the Diamondbacks making the World Series. So I think it's absolutely shameful to just gut the team like this when you're only 3 games out.
I love when you get right just like that. And Proppy, I'm going to come over to you. I believe you have a bonus MLB play before we even get into the best bets of the day, and it has to do with another contender, the Seattle Mariners.
Indeed, Larry. Good morning, Zach, Matt. What's up, guys? I'm fired up. We've got the substitute teacher. I just want to say that I was always on my best behavior anytime we had a substitute teacher fill in school. But yeah, I'm looking at the AL Cy Young award race, guys, and I think there's some value to be had with Logan Gilbert. I really think he's having a tremendous season. He has the lowest whip in Major League Baseball, in addition to the most quality starts, but yet he is plus 1,200 on DraftKings presently to win the AL Cy Young, while Tariq Skubal is minus 130 and Corbin Burns sits around plus 150. In my opinion, this should really be a 3-horse race, and Gilbert should have much, much shorter odds. He should be in the neighborhood of plus 200 or 300, in my opinion. There is some tremendous value at plus 1,200. I think it works against him that he pitches in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle. Obviously, that's a pitcher-friendly park, but he has a lower road ERA than he does at home in Seattle. So really just having a tremendous season, really under the radar. I do think as we approach the race, he can certainly win still. I think those odds will shorten drastically as he continues to have a tremendous season.
Alex, thank you. And I see a lot of people putting in some nice picks in the chat. Brandon, Big Cheesy, Bradley, Kylie, everybody is here. Zach, before I get to your official pick, because today we've got NFL, we've got MLB, we've got Olympics, we have best bets on all of those sports. We also have a best bet on TBT. Will you first explain what is TBT?
Yeah, this was founded, I want to say 10 to 12 years ago, kind of a summer league format. So we had the NBA Summer League just conclude, and this has been ongoing, but now we're starting to get in the middle of it. The games are nationally televised. You may flick through it or whatnot, but these teams usually have a name associated with their colleges. You'll see a lot of college teams, former college teams in this tournament, whether it's Wichita State, Colorado, and Washington State. They're playing a big game tomorrow. But the game I'm going to be focused on later is going to be Louisville and Kentucky. It's going to be one of the biggest games in TBT history, sold out or sold past the ticket sales within 1 hour. It's going to be the highest attended game in TBT history. But the Elam ending, I'm sure everyone has heard of that. It's been used in the NBA and All-Star games. It's been used in the Summer League. So once they set a target score, the teams are going to go for that target score. That's when you're going to win the game. But it takes away the extra dribbling, the fouling, the timeouts, all that nonsense you see towards the end of most basketball games. So TBT, I love the format, being a big college basketball fan, seeing some of these guys get back on the court that haven't been on in 10, 12 years from when they actually played in college. So it's a great league, and we're getting in the heat of it now. We're approaching the semifinals.
And they're playing for $1 million prize, I believe. And that Elam ending, that's for the fourth quarter, not for overtime. So I'm assuming after 3 quarters, they set the target score.
Yeah, it's going to be right around right under the 4-minute mark that they set that target score in TBT. And the NBA Summer League, they use it for any games that go to overtime.
All right, well, enough preamble. Zach, let's get to it. Let's hear your best bet on the TBT tonight.
All right, I'm going with the Ville. That's their team name, the Ville, plus 4.5. They're taking on La Familia. The Ville is pretty simple to understand what their team name is. It's for Louisville, and La Familia is Kentucky. Once this matchup was known, like I said, it broke TBT history. I think the original record was rated over 7,200 tickets sold. They blew past that within an hour, and last time I checked, they had sold over 10,000 tickets. So this is going to be the biggest game in TBT history. In La Familia, they have the big names of Kentucky past teams, of course, coached by John Calipari. You've got guys like James Young. You've got the Harrison brothers, Willie Cauley-Stein, Eric Bledsoe. So they have some of the big names, and I think that's why this line moved. Opened at 2.5. You've had some time to bet this game, and it's continued to move upward now in that 4.5 range. I'm going to take the underdog. They have that team camaraderie, of course, from that 2013 Louisville championship team. Russ Smith, Peyton Siva, those great guards. You got the big man, Montrezl Harrell, who hit the Elam-ending game-winning free throw 2 games ago. And you have Luke Hancock. Can't forget about him, who is one of the assistant coaches. I think they have an edge in the coaching department, as Kentucky is coached by Tyler Ulis. And we've seen that same patented Louisville big run in this tournament. Their last game, they were down 11-7 early on. They went on a 22-2 run to blow that game wide open, had a 29-13 lead. I'm going to go against the line move here and take the Ville plus 4.5.
Okay, we're on the Ville plus the points. Tremendous info, Zach. You really know that TBT. And we're going to stick with basketball and go to the Olympics. This is our official SportsLine play. Canada and Australia each get a win in the opening round. We know that Canada's got 10 NBA players led by SGA and Jamal Murray and RJ Barrett, but Australia also has a bunch of NBA players. I wonder, Alex, if you can name some of those NBA players on the Australian team.
Dante Exum.
Oh, okay, good. I'll give you Patty Mills and Jock Landale as well. And we are taking Australia plus the points, plus 6.5. This is an official play. Read the write-up on SportsLine, Olympics analysis. You can read the breakdown right there. Take the 6.5 with Australia. Okay, guys, we have a ton more picks to get to. But first of all, where are you going to place these basketball bets that we just gave you? How about BetMGM? New BetMGM customers, sign up today, get up to $1,500 in bonus bets. You place your first wager of at least $10, and you will receive up to $1,500 instantly if your bet loses with bonus code EDGE. That's EDGE. All right, we're coming back with 2 big picks from Proppy, but first, let's hear from one of our sponsors. All right, Proppy, give us something for today, and then give us something we can put in our futures account and sweat during the NFL season.
You got it, Professor Hartstein. Let's start in MLB. I mentioned this guy at the top of the show, Logan Gilbert. We're going to his K-prop over 5.5 against the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. This is a small number for Logan Gilbert, who's eclipsed this in 4 consecutive games, or 15 of his 21 starts this season. That is a 72% hit rate. It's also a good matchup. While the Red Sox have a very good lineup, very potent hitting offense, they strike out a ton. They have the 3rd highest K rate in baseball. So Logan Gilbert, who eats up innings, who averages over 6 innings a start, I think he's a very good bet to go at least 6 strikeouts in the process versus a lineup that is very generous with the strikeouts. And then I'm going to go to the season-long player prop market. This is one of my favorite markets to bet, not just in the NFL, but overall. This is the second one I've given out this season, the first one being James Cook, which I know Professor Larry also likes quite a bit. I'm on James Cook's over, by the way. But I'm going to pinpoint Calvin Ridley here. I like his under 875.5 receiving yards. Shop around because this is 825 on some books, but there are certainly some 875s out there. I think this is a big number for Calvin Ridley, who appeared in 17 games last season for Jacksonville, finished with just barely 1,000 yards, 1,016 yards, and now he's on the Tennessee Titans, which is a significant downgrade, especially at the quarterback position, in my opinion, going from Trevor Lawrence to Will Levis. Not to mention, you're having to learn a whole new system in Tennessee. Lots of competition for targets as well. Looking at DeAndre Hopkins, who I think is going to be the focal point of the passing offense. You have Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard, who are capable pass-catching running backs. Okonkwo, receiving tight end, other receivers as well for the Titans. So I think it's going to be very difficult to replicate the 130 targets that Calvin Ridley had last year for Jacksonville. And the quality of targets is going to decrease significantly as well with Will Levis under center. I think the volume is going to be lower. Also, at this stage of Calvin Ridley's career, he's being used predominantly as a boundary receiver. So he's lining up on the outside. They're not using him over the middle of the field or in the slot. And he's lining up down the field and getting basically the majority of his passes are being thrown along the sideline deep down the field. Those are by far the hardest passes to complete in the NFL. They have the lowest completion rate if you look at that part of the field, down the field and along the boundaries. So the quality of these targets are likely to be not very good as well. Not to mention, I think 130 targets is going to be a huge ask. Again, he appeared in all 17 games last year. Everything broke right in a better offense with a better quarterback to just barely eclipse 1,000 yards. So I love this spot, fading Calvin Ridley under 875.5 receiving yards.
Love that info, Proppy. And I love the fact that Brad Morris in the chat is 14-1 in his last 15 chat plays, and he is on Paul Skenes over 6.5. You have to talk about Paul Skenes on Paul Skenes Day, which is every single time he takes the mound. I'm not seeing 6.5 right now on BetMGM. I'm seeing 7.5 plus money. But Alex, I want your take, and Proppy, and Sniper, I want your take.
I was just going to say I haven't seen any 6.5s in the marketplace as well. So yeah, I believe I've only seen 7.5 thus far.
Well, would you take it over 7.5, which is the current number, and hopefully, maybe Brad got that super early?
I certainly wouldn't fade Paul Skenes, I'll tell you that much. I think 8 strikeouts is a big ask in a tough matchup, but if anyone can do it right now, I would say it's Paul Skenes.
Sniper?
My only concern is he pitched into the 9th inning last time, and that's the first time he's ever pitched into the 9th inning in professional. The way the Pirates are handling him, it's so unpredictable. They're liable to pull the plug after 5 or 6 innings today, just to worry about his workload.
Zach, what about you? How are you going on Paul Skenes today?
Yeah, I may go under, just to the point that Snyder said. We were on the live show last week when that game was ongoing. So he went into the 9th inning. We didn't think he was going to. I think it's definitely risky today. Out of all his starts, I think it's 6 or 7 straight starts. He's pitched 7 innings or beyond. I would circle this one as one that he's probably not going to make it that far.
Well, Brad Morris begs to differ, and he notes that the Astros have not seen Paul Skenes. And very uncomfortable, because I think it was last time Skenes didn't have it, and then all of a sudden, boom, he just went flying over, and he stayed in very, very long. Well, I have a baseball pick today, a first 5 on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Don't want to lay the big price on the money line. I'm playing them on the run line. Jordan Montgomery had that late season surge last season. I'm hoping we get something similar. Came back from injury last time, 5 solid innings, only 1 run allowed. And on the other side, Mitchell Parker, I don't know if he's hit the rookie wall or what, but he has a 9.18 ERA this month. The Diamondbacks hit lefties very, very well, 765 OPS. I'm going to lay half a run in the first 5 innings. Okay, Matt, it is time for your official plays. Let's hear them.
Well, let's bring it home. I'm going to start with the Guardians, minus 120 when I posted it last night on SportsLine. Tanner Bybee on the hill for the Guardians at 3.00 road ERA this year. He's better on the road than he is at home. He just saw the Tigers and shut them down. They have a lackluster offense anyway. But the main thing I was latching on here is Jack Flaherty is scheduled to start for the Tigers, and he's probably going to be traded, and the trade deadline is tomorrow. And a lot of times leading up to the game, if there's a starting pitcher who's likely to be traded, teams will scratch that starting pitcher. Just, no injury risk. Don't want anything bad to happen, just for anything like that. And I have a feeling that he's going to get scratched today, which means the Tigers are going to throw a much worse starting pitcher. And this number is way too good to be true in that case. That's why I'm latching onto the Guardians here. Even if Flaherty goes, they're the better team. They're a better bet to win. That's why it's in the minus. But I think somebody else is going to start. Also, I'm going to go and continue to fade the White Sox. I'm going to go with the Royals on the run line here. The Royals are 9-1 against the White Sox this year. Yes, 9-1 against the White Sox this year with a plus 32 run differential. The White Sox have lost 14 in a row, and hardly anybody's even noticed that because they're so bad to begin with. But in that 14-game losing streak, only 4 of those losses have been by 1 run. So that means if we were playing the run line against the White Sox every single game, we'd be 10-4. I like those odds here. I'm going to continue to fade the White Sox. Plus, the Royals, they just lost a series to an inferior Cubs team, so they're going to be feisty and ready to bounce back as they are in the playoff picture. I like the Royals by multiple runs today and probably a high-scoring affair.
Sniper, are the White Sox going to break the all-time record for losses?
They really might. They're going to trade Garrett Crochet and Eric Fetty. They might even trade Luis Robert, and they're already on pace to lose over 120 games. This is legitimately, sadly, I think in some ways, one of the worst teams in baseball history.
And there is a question in the chat for Proppy. James Cook rushing yards. Give us 30 seconds on what that prop was just for the chat that missed it.
Yeah, James Cook, Buffalo Bills running back. He's at the top of the depth chart there in Buffalo, coming off of an 1,100-plus yard season. Love him. I think he's the focal point of Buffalo's offense. Career 5.0 yards per carry. If you look at the depth chart, just a 24-year-old rookie that was not very productive in college. Behind him, no more Stephon Diggs. We saw when Joe Brady took over play calling duties in Buffalo for Ken Dorsey. James Cook averaged 17 rushing attempts per game. If you extrapolated those stats over the course of a season, it was 1,400-plus rushing yards. I honestly think that's within his range of outcomes. That's close to his floor, in my opinion. I think James Cook is headed for an absolutely monster season. Also extremely durable. He's never missed a game. I almost exclusively play unders in the season-long market. This is a very rare over that I absolutely love. It checks every single box for me.
Great. And Matt, one important point on your Tigers bet, you need to not list pitchers because otherwise your bet will be void. I like your play. It's kind of a free roll. If you think, they have a great shot to win, even if it's Flaherty and there's a chance that he's traded or maybe on the verge of being traded and they change pitchers late in the day. So I like that a lot. And we're getting some news of other trades coming in right now. Joel, thank you for watching from LSU Health Hospital. Thank you, everyone, for being in the chat and being so active. Let's take a look at the recap screen right now. I'm on the Diamondbacks first 5, lay the half a run to bring down the juice. Matt Snyder, Guardians money line, do not list pitchers because Jack Flaherty could be traded today. The Royals on the run line against the pathetic White Sox who have lost 14 straight. Zach is going to TBT. He is grabbing the points with the Ville. Propstarz, Logan Gilbert over 5.5 Ks at minus 135. Also, Logan Gilbert to win the Cy Young at 12-1 or better. Calvin Ridley under 875.5 receiving yards. That is your NFL future for today. And then from SportsLine, from Matty Severance, Australia, plus the points against Canada. That will start at 7:30 tomorrow morning, so we should have it on the recap screen. There's also a game. Giannis is playing at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, so much for being in the chat. Thanks to Proppy. Thanks to the Sniper. Thanks to Zack Cimini. I hope we cash all of these bets. I hope we have only green on the board tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow morning as Sia, the Counselor of Cash, continues his sunny vacation. I'll be back tomorrow with another great crew. And good luck on everything today.